Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. You're here, hopefully, to get three new pitches in 1 hour. And they're pitches that actually answer the first three questions you're asked while networking, which means I'm going to be working on a new way of talking about your work. I think it's helpful to ask you a few questions about your current elevator pitch. So just go ahead, find. And what is the most common response you get in response to your pitch? Is it a blank stare, nod and a smile? Interesting. They start pitching me. Let me introduce you to. You can either type it in or type in the number of the thing. But what do you find is the most common reaction you get to your pitch? Nod and a smile. Great. Yep, nod and a smile. That's good. Good. We're gonna get a lot of nods and smile. That's good. Good. And I'll say that part of what we're looking for today, we're looking to push ourselves towards number five. Let me introduce you to be clear about kind of the problem you solve and who you solve it for. So instead of nodding and smile, people are engaging with you and forward with introducing you to people. Next question, number of pitches. So how many versions of your pitch do you have floating around in your head right now? Like how many pitches are you always thinking about? So you need a one, good. One, great.
Too many.
Too many, yeah. I know that. I know that feeling. I definitely know that feeling. And it's interesting because what so many people do is they're looking at the 30, people think about the 30-second elevator pitch. So they have kind of that in mind. But the 30-second elevator pitch really isn't the right answer. And again, what we're talking about today are kind of the first three pitches you want to have. And then there's another three that are kind of the more advanced version. But we're looking to, but they all work together, right? We're not looking for six different pitches. We're looking for six pitches that all kind of work together to show your confidence and expertise kind of thing. So your network, if I asked five people in your network what you do, would they all say the same thing? Just go yes or no, or maybe you're not sure, or let's try it out, or whatever. No, yes. No, no, and so this is a really key thing. I mean, if we're looking to get opportunities, if we're looking to get introductions, it's really important that everyone be crystal clear about what we do, and especially, I suppose, that we should be crystal clear about what we're doing, and that's what we're going to be working on today. That's one of the key things we're working on today is starting with that clarity, starting with the clarity of what you do, like a problem you solve and the person you solve it for. Last question. So is it working? Like, how confident are you that your pitch works even if you're not in the room? Five is, yeah, I'm getting leads from people all the time. And one is, I don't know, I
Enter
didn't know
your
that
meeting
this is something
ID
the pitch could do.
followed by pound.
Uh, So, great. Yeah, and what's the goal rate? Okay, yep. And again, that's part of the reason we're here to work ourselves up this ladder, right? And it's news to people sometimes that this is actually possible. It is possible with your pitch, and that's what I work with people on with the messaging. So today we are here to prepare your personalized answers to the first three questions that people ask while they're networking. So you'll leave here with new pitches, fresh ideas, and the power of clear messaging. And that's really just the beginning. Because once you have your new pitches, I'm going to introduce my new Intro Kit group coaching program. At the end of that conversation, you may feel like it's not a fit, and that's fine. We'll virtual high five and part as friends. On the other hand, you may know it's exactly the right next step for you to pull all this messaging together and to get those six answers locked in. So at that point, you pull out your credit card, grab your spot, and claim your bonus because there's only five spots. Every time I run this, I just run it with five people, so we get a lot of personalized attention. Or you may have a question or need more information, and you can immediately book time using my calendar link. Some people are naturally drawn to this work, and at the end of this conversation, I'll ask you to let me know in the chat box where you are with that. And so again, there are three choices: not a fit, sign me up, or let's talk. So that sounds like a good plan for today. Three new pitches, fresh ideas, clear messaging, and three possible paths forward. Go ahead and type your pitch in the chat box. Just go ahead and type the word pitch into the chat box so I know we're all on the same page. Yeah, just go ahead and type the pitch into the chat box. Um, cool. All right. So the agenda for today, we're going to be talking about your new pitch. We're going to be doing how's it going? Great. Glad to see everyone's on board. Like this is again, this is great stuff. So we're going to be the three questions we're going to be working on. How's it going? What do you do? And who's a good referral? Again, these are the three things we really want to have locked in. And at the end, we'll talk about confident networking, how having those six answers really makes you confident, allows you to get referrals, make sure everyone knows exactly what you do. And so we're going to go through all of that. And so the world the world has changed. Hotel ballrooms have given way to Zoom rooms and virtual chats. The 30-second pitch, it just isn't really relevant anymore. It was always kind of awkward in person, right? But it's completely out of place online. And add to that the sweeping layoffs that are going on, right? More people than ever are going independent, which means there's never been more opportunity, and it's never been more important to differentiate yourself and stand out from the crowd. And so the people who own their expertise, they got a full book of retainer clients and a line out the door, while everyone else constantly tinkers with their 30-second pitch and scrambles for scraps. So it's not clear to me that the 30-second pitch ever really worked. And I'm a guy who writes 30-second pitches for a living, but there just wasn't a better way. And today it's more about making connections and building relationships. And that doesn't happen with one rehearsed speech. And here's why. I mean, when you're networking, like there's kind of three things you're doing when you're networking. You're connecting easily with new people, right? That's the thing that scares people the most a lot, and that's kind of what we're focused on today. What are some pitches you can say that connect you easily with new people and help them instantly get who you are? The second thing is you're looking to strengthen trust in your network, right? Like you know people already. There's plenty of people that you know. How do you keep those relationships going? How do you make sure they're clear about who you're looking for and you're clear about who they're looking for so you can help each other? So again, we're talking to new people. We're trying to strengthen relationships with existing people. And the third thing is to focus your business, right? To be clear what you're offering. And when I say this, people get nervous that I want to cut out like revenue streams for them, and I don't. I love multiple revenue streams. I've always loved, well, since I went on my own, I've loved multiple revenue streams. Since I got laid off, I understood the value of multiple revenue streams. The idea of the focus is to have a particular thing in your business that you're focused on, and the counterintuitive thing is when that's true, when people know why they should reach out to you, you're going to get more opportunities for all of the stuff that you're doing. And so that's what we're doing today. And so the old way of networking no longer works. There's new platforms and new competition. And so these new pitches will grab the right people's attention, start and maintain conversations, and make you the expert they remember. Like that, we want to be remembered. We want people to reach out to us when it's time. So I'm going to quickly show you how we solve these problems and how to get a pitch that resonates with your ideal client. Um, and again, of these three, we're kind of focused on the first one, connect easily with new people. Like this is where people start, and it's a great place to start with your pitch. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how's it going. And I call how's it going the biggest missed opportunity in all of networking. Because what happens is, you'll be hanging out, you're at an event or online or whatever it is, and just hanging out and waiting for the event to start, whatever it is. And someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" How do most people respond? "Fine. Same old, same old. Just trying to get by." Again, folks, it's the biggest missed opportunity in all of networking. The and Because I connect with the right people, not any. I don't understand your question. So if you want to rephrase the question, I can try to answer it. Not anyone B2B. I mean we're doing both. The elevator pitch works with both, whether you're doing consumer straight to consumer or B2B. Like these techniques will work either way. Um, so the biggest missed opportunity in all of networking, what I'm going to recommend is from now on, when someone asks you that question, you answer in the form of awesome. I just, and something awesome that you just did. Hi, Andy, could we see some examples? I'd love to show you some examples. So Andy, how's it going? Awesome. I'm running a public workshop where attendees get 3 new pitches in 1 hour. And people look at this and the first response they always have is, "Andy, really? I mean, awesome. Did you grow up in the 80s or something?" And yes, I am a child of the 80s. Awesome works for me, and it may not work for you, and that's fine. Wonderful, incredible, fantastic, fair to middling. Any positive, upbeat superlative works equally well in this kind of situation. Let's look at another example. How's it going? Fantastic. I just hit the game-winning shot for my basketball team. People look at this and they say, "Andy, like personal story, like hobbies, like what? This is business. Like why would I be sharing a personal story?" And I'll be the first to admit that some personal stories have no business in any sort of business situation. I encourage you to remember, though, that part of the goal here is to start conversations. Like the elevator pitch is about starting the conversation. And if you can connect with with shared interests, connect with something that other people like to do too, that's the surest way to get into a really nice conversation, and it really starts to build trust. So again, some personal stories don't belong, but there's no reason not to start with personal stuff. Like if they also like basketball or like a different sport, there's plenty of stuff to get into. I'll share one more example. I call this one the crossover pitch. Andy, how's it going? Amazing. I just helped a financial advisor explain his unique value to strangers. And I call this the crossover pitch because it's a way of starting to network before people really know you're networking. They're like, how's it going? And you come out with a specific thing that moves you towards the productive business conversation. I get especially introverts all the time. They're like, Andy, oh, all this small talk. I just can't take all this small talk. And yeah, I mean, I don't like small talk either. I like small talk as a path to getting to actual productive business conversations. And this kind of pitch can be an excellent way to do that. And so what I want to do now, I'm going to break us into breakout sections. You're going to get a chance to practice this because again, this is the first pitch we're talking about. This is the first way of starting a conversation. And what I want to say about that is when we're looking at pitches, the we're gonna go in. We're gonna do how's it going? Awesome, incredible, fantastic. I just did something awesome, incredible, or fantastic. The second piece of this, the second piece is as you're in those breakout rooms, see if there's a topic you'd like to talk about, right? If someone says something, if they like basketball and you're also into basketball, they like planting hydrangeas and you're also into planting hydrangeas or whatever it is, ask a question, right? This is a nice chance to kind of practice with each other what things you say cause connections with other people. And so I want you to be looking for a question to ask. The other thing is that we're networking, right? This is a chance to network with a bunch of people on the call, people you may or may not have met. So if you can ask a question, and you can also private chat your calendar link, right? If someone says something and you'd like to have more of a conversation, reach out, say, hey, love to set up a one-to-one. Here's my calendar link, right? That's a really nice way of getting strong value out of these types of programs, right? Where you have a chance to talk to people, you get the conversation going. People come back from the breakout rooms all the time and they're like, oh, Andy, that wasn't long enough. I'm like, right, but I don't want you to get the whole conversation today. I'd like you to get to know people and kind of know where you'd like to get a sense of kind of where the conversation can go. So that's kind of a lot to throw at you, but what I want to do is set up the breakout rooms. So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. Again, we're going to do this for about 3 minutes. It's going to be really quick, but just kind of go around the breakout room. How's it going? Awesome, incredible, fantastic. I just did something awesome, incredible, fantastic. And again, if you've got a follow-up question or want to talk to them more about it, feel free to reach out and either ask the question, set up a time to talk. So I am going to open the rooms and have great conversations, everyone.
Higher level.
Oh, great. That's great news. Cool. Cool. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Almost everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Go ahead, throw in the chat box a comment from that. Were the conversations easy? Were they hard? Like, how did that help? Just let me know kind of how that went for everyone. I'm going to keep on moving just to the breakout. And I think I may just understand the question that was in the chat box. Yeah, you want to connect with the right people, not just anyone. That is correct. That is a lot of what we're talking about today is how to find the right people. Um, the Great, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, starting conversations, it's not hard, right? We're all kind of tuned to that, so I don't really worry too much about that. No, great commonality, yeah, good. So there are connections and everything, and that's really what I like to see. All right. And start with personal and then business. Like again, everyone has their own style, right? I'm not trying to push any sort of style on you, but if you prefer starting with the personal, prefer starting with the business or whatever it is, like it's all legitimate. All you're looking to do is to start these conversations and find the commonality. I heard someone talk about, yeah, I really like to find commonalities, and this is a great way of doing that. Like, how do you figure out who's in front of you? You say specific things. Again, if you say specific things, then that helps them connect with you. So it's an icebreaker and all that kind of stuff. So we're making good progress here. We've done the how's it going. Next, we're going to work with the most dreaded question in all of networking. Uh, you know, what do you do? And I know it's okay. I know plenty of confident and articulate people who can barely mumble a coherent answer to this question. Um, and it's for a very good reason. It's for a very good reason. And the reason is that referrals don't come from where your parents told you they came from. There's a very different, there's all like, oh, when do I ask for referrals? How do I get referrals? And they don't come from where you think they come from. And what I like to talk about when I talk about people's pitch, when I talk about what I call the short pitch, your 7 to 10 words that are the answer to what do you do. It's really important. I'll say that again. Your answer to what do you do, you want it to be about 7 to 10 words because that's what gets you into a conversation, right? We're looking to start conversations here. And so if we think about starting conversations, I worked with one woman recently who was talking about, I help people find a job that's a match for their abilities and aspirations. And this is how a lot of pitches sound, right? I mean, it's nice words and, it's very aspirational and all that sort of stuff. But this does not, for me, this does not pass the pillow talk test. I like to run pitches through what I call the pillow talk test. And when you think about the pillow talk test, what you think about is someone wakes up in the morning, they're like, oh, this morning they turn to their spouse or partner, whoever's next to them, and they say, you know what? Today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to, find a job that matches my aspirations. That's not the way people talk. And the more that you can connect with the way people are actually talking, the more your name's going to pop into people's heads, right? If you're looking for referrals, if you're looking for introductions, if you can be part of this conversation that people are having with each other, and of course, it doesn't have to be an intimate partner. It can be a friend, it can be a brother-in-law, like anybody they're talking to throughout the day, and they're like, oh, I just want this to happen. And so what we ended up with this recruiter is I help night shift workers find daytime weekday work. And of course, this is not all this recruiter will do. She'll find you any kind of job, right? There's plenty of different jobs. The thing is, you want to be specific so people know what to talk to you about. And helping night shift workers find daytime weekday work, that's helping people find a match for abilities and aspirations, right? We all know instinctively that creates a lot of new opportunity for someone, right? Instead of working all night, you can work during the day. You don't have to work weekends. We can see how that's a big change. And this is what we want to do. We're looking for an example, a specific example that kind of brings all that cool stuff we do into it. And we do this by being specific about the person, the type of person we're helping, and the type of problem they're solving. And again, there can be many. I'm not suggesting that you reduce the number of things you offer, right? You should continue doing all your programs and all your services. All of that should still be available. What I'm suggesting is when you talk about it, you find the one thing to talk about that starts the best conversations for you, right? I'm an elevator pitch coach. I know other pitch coaches. They have different pitches, right? We don't all pitch the same way. And so what we're looking for is the way to talk about our work in a way that gets us the right kind of introductions and the right kind of people. Let's do one more example, and then we'll get into the interactive part. So help business owners amplify their brand. I love this. People do this too. They come to me like, Andy, I got it. I help businesses increase revenue. I'm like, yeah, I do that too, and so do you, and so does everybody on this call, right? The problem with that is it's not unique, right? There's no reason to reach out to you versus the multi-million other people who are also doing that. And amplify your brand is the same thing. And when I think about amplify the brand, the thing that really applies, so there's two tests I apply: the pillow talk test, which we just talked about, and what I call being oddly specific. And this is a good example of where we really like to be oddly specific. You help someone amplify their brand. That can mean so many things that people really don't know. I mean, first, I don't think it does pass the pillow talk test. You don't wake up in the morning like, oh, today's the day I'm going to amplify my brand, right? But it could be the day I'm an accountant and I need a newsletter, right? And of course, this person who writes newsletters for accountants, he'll write newsletters for pretty much anyone. But what you're looking for is that oddly specific thing that gets people interested. And, he used to be an accountant, so he likes working with accountants like that. That's an easy thing for him. And so if someone says, well, why just accountants? He has an answer for that, right? It gets you into the right kinds of conversations. And I'm looking for what I call trigger words, right? Newsletters, accountants. If someone wants a newsletter or someone's an accountant, then now they're starting to pay attention, which is so much better than, business owners or, business owners don't think of themselves as business owners. They think of themselves as accountants or whatever it is, their profession. But the real reason I help business owners amplify their brand is not a useful pitch, is that I'm a sign spinner for specialty food stores is also a legitimate pitch that's in this world, right? That also helps people amplify their brand. And the thing is, when you say amplify the brand, it means so many things to so many different people that they don't know why they would talk to you. And what you're looking for is a reason for them to talk to you. And so what we are here now is we've got the chance to do this for ourselves. We're gonna take a minute and sharpen our own pitch. And what we're looking for is the group of people that we work with and the result we offer that helps people understand who we are and what we're looking for and what kind of introduction is good for us. And I already shared I help third shift workers find daytime weekday work. I take care of accountants' computers. Again, this is an IT guy. Who wants to talk to an IT guy? But accountants need computers. And the funny thing is, people are like, well, I help professional services firms. You're so much better picking accountant or lawyer or bookkeeper or whatever. You're so much better picking the specific thing because that gets people people think of, you say professional services firms, people don't think of anyone. But if you say accountants, everyone's got an accountant. You can think of an accountant. So that's what you're looking to do. So I'll give you a minute now. Just use this as inspiration and work on your short pitch. Again, we're looking for kind of 7 to 10 words. I help a group of people take an action. And we want to be really, really specific about the group of people and the action. And we'll do this for just a couple of minutes so we can make sure to keep on track. But again, this is the second pitch. We've already talked about how's it going, and this is the second kind of pitch we can work on. I don't have to help, but if you got one you want to throw out there, and if you want to just do it in voice, or just few enough, if you want to just unmute, we can do that too.
Yeah, Andrew, I'll be a little bit of guinea pig here.
Sure.
All right, for me asking a question. My thinking is that because of the generality of my response, that I may be a little off base. And I
Yep.
basically say I give assists to help others fulfill their potential.
Right.
And
And
so the others is getting me whacked out.
yeah, well, others, I don't, others, and again, fulfill potential is such a big. So, what I like to do is in this case, think back to the most recent person you signed up with, the most recent person you talked to, and right, who were they and what was the problem they needed? Because again, talking about a particular person that you help fulfill something, that helps other people map themselves onto that. Well, I don't need, well, I don't need to fix my team, but I could really need to fix my marketing. Like, that again, then once you're specific like that, then people get into it. So I help manufacturing executives, clean up their line work, or I help them get new work or hire and train new workers, or like again, if it doesn't feel a little bit uncomfortably specific, then it's not really going to start the conversations with people.
Got it.
So does one come to you?
I
I
can
know.
try. Yeah.
Oh,
But sorry. Yeah.
So is there one that Kika came to with Coach Hess from that thing?
uh, yeah, I'm just adjusting what you just said based on a deal I'm just doing right
Yeah.
now. And I'm helping young nerds communicate with their clients.
I love that. I love that. Give that a try. Like that's really I love that.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
what I'm actually doing, man. I got
Yeah,
10,
and
10 people that are 20 in their 20s that are all trying to figure out how to talk to them. They're AI automation experts. I'm fired up about the
yeah.
process. But yeah,
Yeah, and you know what the fun thing about that is that I do that work as well. Like part of my I'm a tech guy by training, and so I love working with technical people. I help if they have messaging needs, then that can be an interesting way for us to work together, right? See when you're specific like that, it helps generate these kinds of conversations. But I love it, and it's the kind of thing everyone understands that nerds need to communicate with clients, but they're not very good at that. So I love that I love that. I think you should try that and let me know how it goes. Like that's great. So, did you want to try something out?
Yeah, I can try and you can help me
Yeah, yeah.
fix it. Yeah, I help new tech companies find new business value, connect the dots between business and technology.
So I like the new tech business piece of it. The new business value. Do you have any examples of kind of what business value people kind of examples of business value?
Business cases like business outcomes. Like, for example, if you look at manufacturing, why would you apply AI to manufacturing production line? Because you want to improve the yield and, the business cases of, business outcomes is what I tie the technology to. Because most tech companies I come across, they talk about the technology and the use cases, but they don't apply it to what is it going to be for me, right? What's the business outcome?
Yes,
So I want to simplify that.
well, yeah, so the simplification is good, right? I help young tech companies, apply AI to manufacturing.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if that would be a tech. Is that a tech company? But
It
I
can be any company, but I want to focus on the business outcome versus the technology itself because people can talk tech till they love the
okay. Well,
technology, but they, yeah.
depending on who your actual customer is, I mean, I help manufacturing companies apply AI to their
Mm-hmm,
business, right, to improve their
mm-hmm,
business. Or I help
mm-hmm,
tech companies, help tech companies. We riff off what Coach Hess just said. I help tech
mm-hmm.
companies figure out how to talk about AI in a way that people understand.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's a good one.
again, depending on who you're looking for, what makes sense
Mm,
in your world.
yeah,
Like those are the kinds of
good point.
things I would
Yeah,
talk about.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I
it-
think you can have different pitches for different audience. Yeah, that's good.
Well, so what I recommend is having 3 or 4 of these and trying each
Mm-hmm,
one out for a couple of weeks. And then what
mm-hmm,
you'll have is the one that works the best kind of in the groups that you're in, right? You don't always know who's going to respond to it. But if you
mm-hmm,
if you take a couple of these specific ones and try them out and
mm-hmm,
and then come back to it,
mm-hmm,
that's how you figure out which pitch works, right? Because you want to be consistent, right? We want everyone in our network to know what we do. So the work of
mm-hmm,
the pitch is to figure out which pitch grabs
mm-hmm.
people, and then
Okay.
from there, what we figure out which pitch grabs people, and then from there you can start getting better introductions for it. So yes, so I don't mind having a couple of different ones as you're trying it out, but eventually people tend to focus on one because it's the one that's working the best in terms of starting the best conversations.
Mm-hmm. Good, good, good. Thanks.
All right, we'll work with Eric for a minute, and then I have to cut it off so we can get through the rest of the program. But again, there'll be time at the end if you want to ask me. So Eric, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Mine is I help people that want to own a business but aren't sure where to start.
Um, yeah. So is that something you're using or something you just came up with now, or?
That's something I just came up with now.
Okay. So again, I'd like it to be, um, I help something like, I help recovering lawyers, start up a new
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
or right,
Yep.
like, so you want to get it.
Customized to the audience.
Well, you want to figure like again, just think about the past couple of people you talked to, right? I help
Yeah.
technology refugees, start up their own business, right? I help people who are tired of corporate America. I help, bookkeepers who are tired of corporate America, find a business that's right for them, like that
Okay.
sort of thing. You want to find because again, when it's a specific person, that's what really helps. That's what really helps. And again, it took me months when I figured out this technique. It took me months to commit to being the elevator pitch coach. Like it's a hard, like psychologically, it's difficult, which is why I kind of work with people on it and why we'll talk about the intro kit in a minute. But the idea is that you want to say the thing that feels uncomfortably specific, but it's the thing you've tested and toned so that it starts the right kinds of conversations for people. And yeah, Eric, I don't know whether it's lawyers coming out or technology people. I don't know who it's going to be, but again, you can get when you find that kind of group of people that are primed for it. You might use one for a year and then it kind of go. Then a different group of people get laid off or whatever, and so you can switch it that way. But you want to be making it specific. All right, good. And so again, I'll show you at the end how to get time with me. If you want to talk about this more specifically for your pitch, I'm happy to set up time to talk to you. But I want to now continue with our program. So we've worked on 2 pitches right now. The first one is how's it going, and you just share it. And again, look, if you'll notice, the specifics are the things that are taking us forward, right? Where the specifics are helping both with the how's it going and the what do you do. We're looking to be very specific. It's easier with the how's it going because this thing just happened to me, right? And that's kind of naturally specific. And I like to move that into the what do you do as well, because again, the specifics are the things that start conversation. And it's counterintuitive, right? Everyone's like, oh, I got to cast a wide net. I need to, bring in as many people as I can. And ironically, the more specific you are, the more people will talk to you, and the more people who are talking to you, the easier it is to find the right people for what you're offering. So I want to touch quickly on who's a good referral for you, because this is the one that trips people up all the time. Like I'm in networking meetings all the time, and people get blindsided by this. Like, oh well, let's see, like who do I like to work with? And I'm like, we can be prepared for this. Like this is the key thing. Like this is if the people get nervous when I'm in the room. They're like, oh, you're going to judge my pitch. And I'm like, I'm a networker. What I'm listening for from your pitch is who I can introduce you to, right? And the clearer you make it who the introduction is for, the easier it is for me to reach into my network and give you an introduction that you're looking for. And again, people tend to go too general. I'm looking for small to medium-sized businesses with 5 million to 25 million. Nobody knows that information, right? What we're looking for is something that can actually cause the referral, right? Is somebody like, oh, I know somebody who fits into that mode. And people are not out researching like company sizes to see if it's a good option for you. You just need something that comes in faster than that. And so when we think about the referrals, I work with landscapers. I work with business lawyers, right? Again, everyone loves business lawyers and SMBs, and the thing about those is that even business owners don't really think of themselves as a business owner. I mean, I was a business owner for almost 20 years, and I wouldn't have thought of myself as a business owner. I owned a window cleaning company, like I managed teams. Like there were a lot of things I thought about myself, but it wasn't a small business owner wasn't really it. So women in high tech, divorce attorneys, third shift workers, right? These are all nice specific things we can do for referrals. Um, and what I'd like to do now is put you back into breakout room so that these, maybe the same people. I'm going to set it up differently, but you never know what Zoom has a way of doing this. So so what I want to do is talk a little bit about the what your pitch is coming out of the last thing, what the and again for Coach Hess, what I'm looking for are young nerds. For Eric, what I'm looking for, recovering lawyers, or but kind of work with each other on what that specific thing is, and don't be surprised if as you're doing this, you actually end up with referrals for each other, right? Oh, I know somebody who's doing that. Like you can, and if you don't know each other yet, set up a one-to-one. Right, like it's a really nice thing. Just set up a one-to-one, talk, get to know each other more, build that trust, and as part, and then you can see how you can help each other. So this is a really fun and powerful way. So open the rooms again. We'll do this for just a couple of minutes, but just work with each other on what the referrals are. Like, what's a specific thing you can ask for that will help you with your business. Have great conversations over. All right, welcome back, everyone. Hope those are good conversations. So do me a favor, just throw into the chat box what you came up with as your ask. Like who is it you're asking for? And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. The first is to kind of practice it. The second is that look through the chat box, and if someone is looking for people that you know, that's a great reason to set up a one-to-one with them. Learn more about them. Again, I'm not really into giving referrals to people I don't know, but if I have a referral to someone and I can set up a one-to-one and learn more about them and see if the trust is there, see if it's actually a good referral for them. And any time you can get one-to-ones out of any of these kinds of meetings, that can be helpful. So again, go ahead and throw into the chat what you're looking for. And if if you see something you're like, oh, I could help with that. I mean, Mark, we were talking about a commercial loan bankers. I know commercial loan folks, so I can send them a couple of those. So just look through that. And again, you can private chat someone if you want to set up time to talk or kind of help someone with something. That's a great thing to do. And oh, kind of like that when people have changed jobs in the last 6 months. I like that as a referral. As a referral statement. Cool. VC junk tech company. Yeah, good. Cool. Merging HR. Yeah, good. So everyone's making good, and I know I can see in the breakdowns you're like struggling with this, and that's fine. Like that's why we're here, right? That's why I have a job, because it's not intuitive. And someone's asking me, so you've seen this work, and yes, I mean it took me months to commit to being the elevator pitch coach because it felt too narrow. It felt way too narrow. But the truth is that as the elevator pitch coach, people know why they're reaching out to me. And in terms of leadership coaching and delegation coaching and presentation skills coaching and business coaching, all of that, I get more of all of that being the elevator pitch coach, because the conversations start. People know why to reach out to me. And that's what you're looking for. And that's what I help people with, is finding that entry point, finding the thing that you're looking to do to get yourself into it. It is counterintuitive and it does work. Yes. So go ahead, just throw into the chat box now. We talked about the three pitches. Right. So what's the most surprising or valuable thing you feel like you learned today that you're going to apply as you go forward? So just go ahead and put that in for me. And then we're going to talk about confident networking. Awkwardly specific. Thank you. Yes. Oh, great. Yeah, thank you, Susan. That's a great observation. Pitching is about getting to referrals quickly. Yeah, that is the way. Everyone's like, oh, when do you ask for referrals? If you're specific about the who and the what you solve, you can get a lot of great, Casey. Yeah, yeah, 1 to 2 minute. Well, again, it depends on what there is a role for the 1 minute pitch, but if you're networking, usually you're just talking to people one-to-one. It's can be a little bit awkward. Great. Okay. So those are all good things. And so the so now we're going to talk about confident networking, and I want to congratulate you all because great work. It's been less than an hour, right? And we have three new pitches that already sound sharper and more natural, and will get you into better conversations, right? I really like the idea of using these, and I love to hear from you, like, if you're using it and it goes well or it goes poorly or whatever. Feel free to email me with questions or whatever. I love working on this kind of stuff. And so you proved how fast your message can change once you get the right prompts and the right kind of feedback. And so imagine what would happen if you had 4 weeks to work on all six of your networking answers. Right? We did three of them today. We focused on the kind of connect with strangers, but strength and trust in your network and five, focus your business. Like those are the other pieces of this. And that's exactly what the small group program, your networking intro kit, is designed to do. We again, the three things you were talking about are connect easily with new people, strength and trust in your network, and focus your business. And so many people tell me, like, I'm great at what I do, but I don't know how to explain it. And I've had people send me 7-minute videos of themselves, like, this explains everything. And I've watched them, and it doesn't, right? I mean, if you can't explain it in a few words, so you can't. And I was in a lot of the breakout rooms. People were like, oh, I have these 30 words, and there's no way to condense it, and we condense it very easily, right? It's the type of person you're looking for and the type of problem that you're solving. And so the key is that people don't want to box themselves in, right? They think they want to cast a wide net to bring in more opportunities, make sure they don't miss out on potential clients. It's completely normal. Everyone's doing it. This is part of why I have a job. And exactly what this program, this intricate program, helps you solve. Because when you explain your value clearly, people remember you. When you sound confident, they trust you. And when they trust you, they can refer you, right? And the other thing, when you're specific like this, it sounds more like you're an expert, right? Oh, I help businesses with revenue. That's very different from I help accountants write an email newsletter, or I do social media for lawyers, right? The more specific you can be, the better it is. That's how conversations turn into clients. And so your network intro kit helps you do these three things: connect you easily with the new people, strengthen trust in your network, and focus your business so you're being efficient with your time, right? If you're trying to chase all these weird things, it doesn't help when you can lock it in and know exactly what you're looking for. That's what we're looking for. So here's how it works. We take a small group of 5 professionals, meet once a week for 4 weeks. This is in January, Tuesday, this time, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Eastern in January. And each session, we take one piece of your message. What do you do? A client success, your offer. Like, again, we work through them all and test it and refine it in real time. And you get live coaching from me, instant feedback from your peers, and ideas that you can use that same day. And by the end, you will have your networking intro kit, right? It's this one pager, this networking prep sheet, this one pager that has everything. It's 6 short, confident answers ready for any conversation you're having in networking. But more than that, you'll feel clear, credible, and consistent when you talk about what your work, right? And we asked at the beginning, like, how many people in your network would say the same thing when you talk? And you really want everyone knowing. Everyone knows I'm the elevator pitch coach. Like, you ask anyone, I'm the elevator pitch coach. And it just, then this we teach we most need to learn. I needed to learn that, and now I teach it. And so one of my favorite moments came from a participant. She came to the thing, and then the next morning, I went to a coffee event this morning. Went really well. I tested out the few phrases we discussed, and the flow of the conversations were much better. It turns out most people aren't even aware what a good conversation. Right? Almost everyone on the call is like, "Yeah, people." I get nods and smiles. What would happen if people were actually asking you questions, right? What would happen if you said this stuff and you actually got questions back about what you were doing and how to work on that? So our new phrases generated much more follow-up questions, right? You're looking to start a conversation. You're looking to get them to talk to you about it. Another participant, I'm new to networking, and Andy's workshops are extremely helpful to me. Building relationships is the most effective way to grow. And so how to network and expect and speak with intention. I've seen success immediately from these techniques as he gains confidence, right? And so that is what we get from these programs as we work through. And it's not a lecture series. You've been on with me today. It's all interactive. Again, it's group coaching. We get together for an hour every week. You leave with messaging you can actually use, right? 4 weeks, 5 people, live coaching, peer feedback, and a finished one pager for any event. So let's talk about the pricing. In order to determine a fair price for the program, I took took a look at existing alternatives, and we wanted to align the pricing model with the value we deliver. And you look at most messaging packages, they can cost upwards of $2,500 for a result that you stick in your drawer and forget about, right? I don't know if everyone's ever done that. You got all your messaging, and then you just kind of forget about it. Um, and again, we've shown you here how to be fully prepared for your networking conversation, increases your confidence, leads to better results. We wanted to make our product a no-brainer, which is why we chose to price it not at $2,500, but at $480. So 480, that included in that pricing is the 4-week, 5-person group. Again, the first 5 people to sign up get into it. You also get a personalized prep sheet review with me, so I'll work with the individual. It's a group coaching program, but I'll work with you individually on your sheet so that we make sure everything's locked in for you. And so, that QR code is there. I'll put the information in. So go ahead and now that you've heard this, I asked you to say kind of yes, no, let's talk. So go ahead and throw into the chat box where your thinking is right now in terms of this work, in terms of getting your messaging clear, and so you can get the right kind of referrals. Go ahead and throw that into the chat box for me, where your thinking is right now.
Andy, I will say one thing. The previous slide, there was an individual there named, last name is Roy. And I will congratulate you, Andy. With your coaching, he's gone from a very quiet individual to being an unbelievable networking expert.
He is a real success case.
Yeah, his name is Aaron Roy, in case anybody doesn't know.
He's great, and and I didn't realize when I met him, he really didn't know how to network at all, and that's the thing. And I work with people across the range. But thank you, Roy. Yeah, no, Aaron's great. Um, so if you want to grab one of the spots, you can use the QR code there on the screen, or I put that in there. And as you're thinking about this, there are a couple of other so the group coaching program, it's Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern in January, like the 4 Tuesdays in January. The So that's the one there. I also offer that you don't want to wait that long, or Tuesdays don't work for you, or whatever it is. I offer a private intro kit program, and that's just three 1-hour sessions, just you and me working together. I usually charge 800 for that, but I'm offering it for 680. That's the private coaching there. And finally, if you like what we were doing earlier with the short pitches and everything, I can do a pitch check with you. Some people just want to get a little more on the feedback. So I offer a 30-minute free call, no obligation sort of thing. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that as well. So once again, it's the group coaching in Tuesday. They got 5 spots. So I haven't checked yet whether anyone's signed up. Maybe there's fewer spots, but again, grab one of those spots if you want. You can work with me individually, or we can just talk about your pitch and see where that goes. And so I've got a couple more minutes here. People have questions or still thinking about it. I'm happy to hang out for a minute and answer questions. You can, either just unmute or toss them in the chat box.
Andrew, I have a question.
Yeah.
Part of my work is coaching, but the other part of it is I have a couple different areas that I work in. So I do some advisory hands-on work, and I do some coaching work in the HR space.
Yep.
So how would I talk about that? I typically will talk about my coaching when I'm networking,
Okay.
because I want to be specific and focused. But
Yeah,
if I have a couple dimensions to my business, is there a way to package that so that I can talk about both of them without confusing people or being too broad?
Yeah. So thank you. This is exactly the question we answer in the intro kit, and it's something almost everyone struggles with. Like, I do a lot of different things. What am I supposed to talk about? And the kind of thing we go through is we design it. I tell people I'm a software architect by training, so I'm a design guy. And what I like to do, especially in the intro kit, is we design what you're going to say, and you can't say both. Right, your elevator pitch can't be about 2 different things because it confuses people. And so what you want to do is pick one of them, and you pick the one that is kind of closest to your entry point, right? You pick the one where it's easiest for people to come to you, it's easiest to get people in your circle. And then once you're talking to them, once you've worked with them on something, or once you know them, as you have conversations with them, more things will come up, and you can talk about the other kind of work that you do. And for you, I could see the coaching work leading to more advisory work. I could see the advisory work leading to more coaching work, and it's kind of a personal thing, like just kind of where, what kinds of conversations you want to start. But that's exactly the kind of thing we work on in the intro kit is how do I narrow this down and which thing do I want to talk about? And we try it out. Like we get a couple of pitches and we try it out in between. That's why it's 4 weeks long, because you need to try stuff out as we're going along. But what you end up with is a pitch that starts the right kind of conversations for whichever side of the business makes sense for that's where the business is going to be. And then other stuff again, I mean, for myself, like I do a lot more leadership coaching, presentation, skills training, delegation coaching now that I'm an elevator pitch coach than I ever did when I was a leadership coach. I couldn't get any traction as a leadership coach, but as an elevator pitch coach, I have more work across all the areas that I work on because people are talking to me and getting to know me, and all of a sudden it turns out that I can help them. I get on elevator pitch calls a lot and people start talking and I'm like, you don't need help with your elevator pitch. You need help with your business. Would you like to work on that? Like, oh yeah, sure. Like, they're not clear about the proposal or the pricing or how they sell or what they're actually selling or, so I kind of productizing that stuff. That's another piece that we work on. Like, how do you get people in and move them forward so that you got a flow of clients coming in. So hopefully that answers your question, Susan. But yeah, you have to pick one. Again, I spent months agonizing about this for my own business, and it's part of the reason I help people with it now because you pick one, you try it out, you try out a couple of things, and then based on the results of that, you pick one, and the one you pick is the one that's generating the best conversations for you. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Anyone else? Any other things on people's mind? All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. Great working with everyone as usual. Good to see the folks that I haven't seen for a while, and always good to meet new people. And again, the coaching stuff is available. So feel free to save the chat if you want to keep those links available. And this recording will be available. Usually, it's available within about 24 hours. And yeah, so let's keep in touch. And thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate it. Happy networking.